let's fast forward to the good part.
Today we're getting the king of steaks, the ribeye.
Probably one of my favorite cuts, if not my favorite cut. It's well marbled, it usually has a good amount of fat, and to me it grills better than any other cut. Guys,
Four ribeyes. How big?
what are we looking for on thickness, John?
Probably at least an inch, maybe an inch and a half.
Inch and a half?
Inch and a half is usually pretty good for cast iron grilling. That's what we're going to be doing today.
We can see let's look at the marbling here in this.
Beautiful.
It's got a good marble, it's got a good fat piece on the eye, and a nice tail.
Hollingsworth, as many people know in the county, and if you're just new here or moving around, or even if you live in another county and want to come here, this is the meat market. Experienced butchers, great quality of cuts. I mean, this is the go-to place around here for your meat needs.
For me, when I smoke meats, there's absolutely nowhere else I go. If I need to smoke, be it a bologna, a pork tenderloin, even when I do my meatloaf, they have a bacon blend of ground beef that I cannot recommend highly enough. Because we're grilling on cast iron, butter is the king for cast iron grilling. We went with unsalted today, simply because we're going to be seasoning this meat. So we don't want to add too much salt, so in this case we're going with the unsalted butter.
I think that's it. Thank you.
Can we get y'all anything else today? Just the 4 ribeyes? There you go. Here's your 4 big old ribeyes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
Pizzas, we're probably doing burgers.
We're going to do ribeyes. So what do you suggest?
What do I would suggest? I would suggest either this right here is really good. And then there is a salt, pepper, and garlic. And if you want to think outside the box, that Sweet Heat barbecue sauce, if you marinate it overnight from Traeger.
Sweet heat.
Sweet Heat, I'll show it to you. Let that marinate overnight. It gives a really good flavor for it.
Perfect. Okay.
If you love to eat, you're like me, I love to eat, you love to grill, cook out, Ace is your barbecue cookout headquarters. I've never seen this many different spices, and you can't go to any store in the county and find this many different spices and sauces.
Okay, we've picked out our meats, we've picked out our seasonings. We're moving on to the grilling portion. Now today, we're going to be using a flat top grill. It's not the traditional charcoal. This grill allows you to get a very excellent sear on your steak. What we're going to do, this is a 4-burner. We're going to grill on this zone. So we're going to light these 2 burners on high. Over here, we're going to light the burner. We're going to turn it down to low to melt our butter with. So to start out, we're going to turn them all to high. We're going to hit the ignition. Grill is lit. This side will remain on high. We're going to turn this side down to a low setting just to melt the butter with. And then we'll be back with the meat on the grill.
Okay folks, here we have our beautiful 1.5-inch thick cut, locally sourced Hollingsworth ribeyes. Just perfect steaks. You might be wondering why, these are large steaks, large. These are what we would call, for normal people, not necessarily with Patrick and I, but normal people, these are 2-person ribeyes. They're big, and one of them will feed 2. You want your steaks to be 1.5 inches thick if you're cooking on cast iron especially. 1.5 inches thick steak, they're what we call, idiot-proof steaks, and Lord knows I need that sometimes. It gives you a chance to sear the steak and not overcook the inside of it as you try to build that crust that you want. But 1.5 inches is great for that. And like I said, these steaks will feed 2 normal people. It'll be probably a good 8-ounce steak for each person. But beautiful Hollingsworth meat. And go down there and get you some ribeyes. Ask for 1.5 inches if you're going to especially cook on cast iron. With our cast iron cook, we're going to use a high heat oil. You can use bacon grease even for this, avocado oil, whatever you think suits your flavor. Avocado is a good neutral, but it's just a high heat oil. You want it with a high smoke point. And we want to get our steak, oil it, rub the oil onto the steak. Make sure you get the sides, the end. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to oil the steak on both sides, rub it in. Then you apply your seasoning. Today, got this beautiful salt, pepper, and garlic seasoning, Livia's, from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place for your local seasonings and grilling. Apply your seasoning liberally. You need plenty of it. Very thick steak. Flip it. Same for the other side. Beautiful, beautiful seasoning. Garlic, black pepper, and salt. You can put other things on the steak if you want to. That's really all you need for a great steak. Make sure you get your edges. You can roll it around on the paper and get it if you need to. That's a beautiful, well-seasoned steak ready for the grill.
Folks, now it's time to put the meat on the grill. Now, I spoke of the burners before, and what we're going to do is we want the steak to be lined up directly on the burner. We do that so that it is on the absolute hottest part of the grill we can put it on. So we got these steaks, 2 per burner. Now, these are such massive steaks that obviously some of it's not going to be directly on the burner, but it's still getting the most heat possible. We're going to be butter basting these steaks. The butter is what's going to give it the very good, brownish, delicious crust. Also very visually appealing. Another thing, as you saw with John earlier, we just used the holy trifecta. Salt, pepper, garlic. Now, there's nothing wrong with using other seasonings. But if you're using a sugar-based seasoning, you want your sugar, that's hot, that's very hot. You want your sugar-based seasonings, metal ring, don't make that mistake. You want your sugar-based seasonings in the butter, because if you apply them to the direct heat of the grill, the sugar will burn. The reason we're basting the butter instead of directly on the grill, you want the butter to still be butter rather than just a charred brown-black mess. So what we're going to do here, that ring is still exceptionally hot. We're going to baste our steak with the butter with only minimally burning my hands. There's no need to be conservative with this butter. We're doing 2 sticks of it. Butter is one of those things. Like cheese on a lot of things, especially pizza, you can never have enough.
Beautiful, beautiful crust buildup on those after a minute on each side. You're going to do this about 5 times for an 1.5 inch thick steak. We have our butter basting tool here that had an equipment malfunction, but that's the part of grilling. Everyday life. Have some tongs ready in case you do. And Patrick's over at the ER getting treated for his 3rd-degree butter burn. I'm just joking about that. He's fine. He would never leave a steak cooking. He didn't get to eat that. You want your steak to burn. You want a great, great brown crust built up. You just need to probe one steak if they're all the same thickness. and your meat thermometer will never let you go wrong. Instead of doing it by time that way, which is what I'm doing now, you can get a perfect cook on them with a thermometer just by watching it. You can build your crust as much as you want to build it while you monitor your inside. And if you're wanting a good medium rare steak with this thickness, you want your internal temperature to be 125 degrees when you pull it from the grill. It will warm up during its rest period to around 135, which is a perfect medium rare.
What if they want medium?
Medium, that's 140, 145 on your thermometer. This thickness of steak, 5 minutes on each side approximately should be a medium rare. A little thinner, obviously it would cook quicker. But for medium, like 140 is your internal temperature. You're looking for 145, somewhere in that range. 130, 135 is a good medium rare. Or if you're like me, you'll eat it, when it comes out of the refrigerator, Hollingsworth, because it's just that good. You see that beautiful crust that's built up on these steaks? Look at this one right here. It's beautiful. It's not burned. It's golden brown. Those are just beautiful right there. You approach 5 minutes per side on each steak. We're going to quickly let it go for a few minutes, and we're going to sear off the edges. This edge searing with these heavy steaks, you have a good strong grill rest for that. Take it, set it on its edge. Set it on its. Pop it on here. We'll slide it over into this. This is the cooler zone of the grill. Take your steaks off. I'm going to let these sit for approximately 5 minutes each. Sometimes you might want to wait 6-7 minutes. Just somewhere in the 3 to 6 range usually works. Some people even say 10. Now you just turn the grill off. Take this beautiful butter. If you had a better brush or a spoon at this point, and you can just give it a final brush onto your steak as it rests. You can even, if you wanted to, dip a steak in the pan really quickly. Leave it down, butter side up when you turn it back. We have rested our steaks. See the beautiful butter and steak juice kind of absorb back into it. You just want to give it a nice slice. Those are beautiful, probably on the rare side of medium rare, but that's the way Patrick and I love them. You want them a little better than that, you cook them a little longer than that, so it's best to get you an internal meat probe.
All right, folks, here we go.
Just perfect to me. Patrick and I are good rare, medium rare eaters. And they say you do you.
Now, in this case, it's still very pink. You can see just a little bit of the fat marbling in it. And that is a darn good steak. Can't get it this good at a restaurant.
Perfectly warm center, beautiful tender, great Hollingsworth steak. Better than you can get